Yo, what's up, Gemini? Welcome to your monthly forecast for the month of April 2016. For the majority of the month of April, the sun is going to be in your 11th house. The 11th house for you is Aries. It's the house of friendships. It's the house of your social situation. So up until April 19th, you're going to be going out with your friends a lot more. You're going to be having a lot more fun in social situations. On April 19th, the sun will shift into the sign of Taurus. Taurus is your 12th house. The 12th house has to do with completions. It has to do with finalizations. It has to do with things that are hidden. And sometimes it has to do potentially with endings. Not to say that every Gemini is going to endure some sort of ending when the sun moves into the 12th house, but it is always a possibility when the sun is in your 12th house that there could be some sort of potential ending in your life. But those are the prominent themes for you, Gemini, for the month of April 2016. Now I'm going to talk about some more major specific astrological influences that are set to occur this month and what they mean for you. On April 5th, Venus, the planet of love, enters Aries. And once again, Aries is your 11th house. That 11th house area for you as a Gemini, Aries is your 11th house. Aries is your house of friendships. It's your house of your social situation. And with Venus, the planet of love, being there for up until April 28th, it's going to be there for most of the month of April, you may find someone that you're romantically attracted to amongst your friends. So if you're single, or if you're looking, or I don't know, maybe you're in a relationship that's not that great and you're looking for different love, it looks like you might be able to find love amongst your friendships, because Venus is here until April 28th. On the same day, Mercury, the planet of communication, is going to be entering the sign of Taurus. Taurus is your 12th house. The 12th house has to do, once again, with the completions, the finalizations, and potential endings. And Mercury is the planet of communication. And this is kind of an interesting aspect with Mercury this month, because it goes direct in Taurus, your house of completions, finalizations, and endings, for the entire month. And then on the 28th of April, it actually starts to go retrograde. And what a retrograde is when, well, a lot of people know retrograde is going backwards. The planet goes backwards. I mean, it doesn't technically go backwards. It's actually just the Earth is moving faster than the planet Mercury. And basically, if you were to look at the planet Mercury, I believe, through a telescope, then it would look like it's going backwards. But it's really not. It's just the Earth moving around its orbit faster than the planet of Mercury. What does this mean from an astrology standpoint? That's what's important. So basically, it's in your house of endings, and it's in your house of finalizations. So, you know, there could be a subject that you've discussed before regarding an ending, or regarding something coming to a completion or finalization, and you've had this conversation before. So once Mercury goes retrograde on April 28th, this conversation could come up again. It's the planet of communication. You're talking about something that you've talked about before, and it's in your house of finalizations. So, are you talking about something that is supposed to come to a completion before? Are you talking about something before that could be a potential ending? It's going to come back up into your conversations after Mercury goes retrograde on April 28th. And Mercury's retrograde until May 22nd. So you may be having this conversation for, throughout that period, and it won't move forward until after May 22nd. So that's something to look out for regarding your communications and that area of your life. On April 7th, there's a new moon in Aries. Once again, Aries being your 11th house of friendships and your social situations. So, what does this suggest? I mean, new moons are like a trigger. When they happen, the 6 months that follow the new moon, all these things are building in your life, in whatever aspect of your life it happens in. And in this time, it's happening in your friendship. So it sounds like you have some new friendships that are coming down the pike, Gemini. So I think that's pretty exciting. A sociable Gemini like yourself, I mean, who wouldn't love to have new friendships coming into their life? April 12th, Venus, the planet of love, once again in your 11th house of friendships, and your social situation is making a positive angle to Mars, the planet of ambition, which is in Sagittarius. And Sagittarius is your 7th house of one-on-one relationships. So what does this suggest? I mean, it looks like some kind of positive love connection or romantic connection that you're finding amongst your friendships, and it looks like it's set to be very positive. If you're a Gemini and you're already in a relationship that you enjoy, this could just mean that the relationship that you have with your significant other is good, and you're going out with your friends and your significant other, and it's really a great time. I mean, if your relationship's not that great with your significant other, or you're single, then this means you could maybe find somebody in your friendships that it could be potentially be a romantic interest that you could potentially eventually have a one-on-one relationship with in your life. On April 17th, Mars now turns retrograde. So we got more than one planet going retrograde in the month of April, and this happens in your 7th house of relationships. So Mars is good when it comes to being ambitious. But Mars has some negative attributes, and when it goes retrograde, it gets irritated. So this means that there could be some irritation after April 17th in your one-on-one relationships in your life. So just look out for that following April 17th. Don't get too stressed out if you start to have some irritation in your one-on-one relationships, because it's just natural. I mean, it's why we look at these planets in astrology, so we can see what's happening in your life. So, when things go complicated, you're not sitting there wondering, like, why is all this stuff happening to me? This is why April 17th, Mars turning retrograde, can cause some irritation in your one-on-one relationships. So just a heads up for you on that, Gemini. April 18th, Venus in Aries, again making a trine to Saturn in Sagittarius. So, some important stuff going on here between your 11th house of friendships and Venus being there, the planet of love, making a positive angle now to Saturn, and now now it's making a positive angle to Saturn, which is also in that area of one-on-one relationships, your 7th house of one-on-one relationships. So, here we are again with that same aspect, but now it's with Saturn. So, just look amongst your friends. Who are you? Maybe somebody's romantically attracted to you, or there's somebody you're romantically attracted to in your friendships. It could go either way, but it looks like whoever it is, there could be a potential union. And like I said, if things are going good with your significant other, it just points to more good times, with you and your significant other, and going out with your friends and stuff. So it could be either or. On April 18th, Pluto now turning retrograde. So here we go, having another planet in the month of April 2016 that's turning retrograde. And Pluto is actually the planet that does away with the old and so the new can come in. So, and especially when it goes retrograde, it's really just getting rid of old processes and ways of doing things. And this time Pluto is currently in your it's currently in your 8th house, Capricorn, and your 8th house has to do with your shared resources, it has to do with your shared finances, and it has to do with business contracts, negotiations, and it even has to do with your sex life. So this 8th house actually has a lot of stuff as part of the category of the 8th house, and it's in Capricorn. Capricorn is your 8th house, and when it's retrograde, and it's going to be going retrograde for a long time, it's kind of just shaking off all the old ways of doing things, or shaking off things that are involved in that aspect of your life. So think about who do you share your resources with. Maybe you're not going to be sharing your resources with this person anymore because Pluto's retrograde there, and it's going to be shaking off the old so the new can come in. And it's going to be going retrograde for a while. It's going to be doing this process where it's trying to get rid of the old for a while. It's going to be retrograde until September 26th. So it starts its retrograde on April 18th, and then the retrograde doesn't end until September 26th. So, I mean, all spring and summer, you have this Pluto retrograde shaking off, old processes and old things regarding your shared finances, your shared resources, and even your sex life. On April 19th, Venus in Aries is now making a challenging aspect to this 8th house, to Pluto in this 8th house area, Capricorn. So it looks like there's the love thing, like in your friendships, is now making a complication with whoever you share your resources with, and you're going to experience some kind of challenging aspect there probably, or some kind of challenging situation there on April 19th. So, Venus in Aries, some kind of love interest amongst your friends, now making a challenging situation with, whoever you share your resources with. On April 22nd, there is a full moon in Scorpio. For you as a Gemini, Scorpio is your 6th house of work, daily life, and health. So, full moons are like a wild card. I mean, depending on your situation, it could either be a shakeup or it could be a development. So, if things haven't been going that great in your work and your daily life, it could be some kind of shakeup. Something could be sprung upon you on April 22nd that might be sort of disruptive. It might be complicated, or there could be a development in that area of your life. So that's definitely something to look out for on April 22nd, but it all depends on your unique situation, Gemini. Venus, on the same day, April 22nd, Venus is in the sign of Aries again, making a positive angle, or it's actually making a conjunction with Uranus, which is the planet of the unexpected, and that's also in your house of friendship. So now you have the planet of love and the planet of random events occurring and spontaneousness, making a conjunction, which is a very positive thing, in your house of friendships, in your social situation. So they're aligning, and that's positive, and they're aligning in the same areas, which means, with Uranus in the mix, with Venus in the mix is love, and Uranus with the mix is unpredictability. It sounds like something random could come up regarding a love interest amongst your friends on April 22nd, but I think that's all I have for you this month, Gemini. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you've enjoyed it, make sure to subscribe and like, and I will see you next month. Take care. Bye-bye.